Hello, Ignite Nation. I'm Jay Cosey, and welcome to another episode of Ignite, the Flame podcast. Today, we are with Anne Exley. Anne is the General Manager of Ignite Medical Resorts, Webster, Texas. Hi, Anne. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. And how about we start with this? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your resort, and how long you've been with Ignite Medical Resorts.
Well, we are a 70-bed, short-term only. I was actually originally hired in November 2019 with a previous company, and we were fortunate to have Ignite take us over in April of 2022.
April of 2022. So what was that transition like? I know a lot of our Lions out there have been part of a transition. Talk to us about the benefits of transitioning to Ignite Medical Resorts.
Well, at the time, we were coming out of COVID, and so Ignite comes in, and we literally maybe had 14 patients out of 70. And so they met with us. The whole team came in, and it was exciting. They had thrilling information, a very positive team, and we were excited about it. So they came on board, and boom, within months, we were full. That was a change for us because we had to get our systems in place to manage flipping beds and getting patients in the same day that they discharge. So we had a few hiccups here and there, but I have a phenomenal team, very strong, and we all figured it out. And we now stay full with a waiting list.
Wow, that's impact.
Yes. It was a very strong transition. Very big learning curve, like I said, but exciting. Exciting to get everybody in line and everybody's on the same page. And we love to have a waiting list. And I've worked 33 years. I've never had a building with a waiting list until now.
So let's talk about that. How did you all go from not having a waiting list to being fully occupied? Give me maybe 2 or 3 areas that you focused on in order to make that goal a reality.
2 or 3. Let's see. One is getting the name out and making sure that they knew we were able to take care of their loved one. Getting into the ACOs. Ignite has so many great programs.
Yes.
The pulmonary programs, the cardio programs, that we were able to go out and market and get into these communities. And we literally have 3 to 4 hospitals within a 5-mile radius that keep us full at all times.
So what I'm hearing you say is when Ignite purchased your community was in the vicinity of 3 to 4 hospitals. Don't hold me to the number. And you were at a census of 14. And within 2 months, we were able to go from serving 14 people to serving 70 people, as well as giving the community that Ignite is part of a valuable resource to help improve quality within the community. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what you're hearing.
Wow. And how does that make you feel?
Very proud. Very proud to hold the Ignite name and very honored to be part of the team.
Wow. Shout out Webster crew. Outstanding job. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your career and what drew you to senior healthcare and how has your journey shaped the leader you are today?
Well, when I was a younger child, I did some volunteer work at a nursing facility called Methodist Crestview in Bryan College Station. That's the town I don't know, not everybody's familiar with, but if you know the Texas Fighting Aggies, you would know that's the area. And as I grew up, I went on to school at Southwest Texas State University, which is now called Texas State. Back then, you did not have to pick your major until you were around a junior. So I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I took an aptitude test, with the school and found out that healthcare administration would be something that I would enjoy and be great at. So at Southwest, they had hospital administration as well as they had long-term care. And because it was such a small community, some of the classes were intertwined. So when I took some of the long-term care classes, I was amazed. I was impressed, and I love that one-on-one that you get with the patients. So I decided to go into long-term care administration. So I got my bachelor's in science, healthcare administration, and my major is actually long-term care administration, which they don't offer anymore.
So you received a bachelor's degree in long-term care administration.
Yes, sir.
I love it. You said, I want to be a part of this profession. So let me
Correct.
ask you, did you play general manager when you were a kid?
Oh, I did a lot of stuff as a kid.
I
I
always
was
ask,
always driven to be some type of leader, just didn't know what my goals were at that time.
I think it's hilarious because I always like to ask professionals in our space, did you play, CNO when you were a kid? Did you play general manager? I don't know many people who played, general manager or DON as a kid, but then we see them grow into these phenomenal leaders with time. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad that you chose this profession. And what key leadership strategies do you use to build a strong team and to drive the results?
One is you lead by example. Get out there, be on the floor, be open to talk to the staff and your families. Let them know that they're not doing anything that you wouldn't do. I've
Mm,
spent days mopping floors, waxing. I have cooked. I have answered many, many call lights in my years as an
yes.
administrator and general manager. You have to actively listen. Listening versus talking, and listen to what they're asking you and communicate clearly so that they know your goals and that they can meet your goals. I empower my team. I let them know that mistakes happen. Funny thing of it is, and they laugh about it to this day, is I will go in my morning meeting and I will say, okay, guys, pull out your calendars. And they'd all look at each other. And I was like, you need to write this down because I'm admitting I was wrong. It's okay to be wrong. They need to know it's okay to be wrong. And they start laughing and it's a relaxed atmosphere.
Mm,
You
mm,
have you have to just not micromanage. We don't pay people to micromanage. You have to build a strong team and give them that opportunity to go out there and make errors and mistakes. You've got to be flexible. You have to always be flexible. When they need to come and talk to you, have that door open. They have great ideas. Your team, you hire them for a reason.
mhm.
You hire experts at what they do. You learn to manage their personalities and work as a team because you become a family.
Isn't that amazing? I tell you, as a leader, one of the things I miss is being able to see my IDT team work magic, basically practice at the top of their license. And to
Absolutely.
have a social services expert, to have a clinical expert, an operational expert, to have a rehab expert. And we bring all of these experts together and we advance humankind. Let's talk about your key leadership strategies. You mentioned lead by example. You mentioned listening. You mentioned engaging, asking questions. You mentioned utilizing the expertise of your team. You bring these items together, which all influence the ability to drive trust with each other. And as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about leading by example, and that's authenticity, showing up who you are. I'm thinking of you saying communicate, and I think of logic and how we communicate what we're thinking. You talk about listening to what people are saying, and when we're listening and engaging others, it basically says, I care about you. And I am so enjoying talking about your career. What has been one of your proudest, absolutely proudest professional moments in the past year?
Having a zero deficiency survey in
What?
2024.
Hold
Yes,
on, say
sir.
that again. Hold on, what did you
A
say?
zero deficiency survey in 2024.
Mm, mm, mm.
Proudest moment in my career.
Wow. I'm so embarrassed to say this. I have never, that has eluded me my entire career. Outstanding Webster team. Outstanding. So let's talk about it a little bit. How did you all compete during this survey?
How did we compete? Well, we just basically were all over the building. There wasn't an area that a surveyor could go in that we weren't already there, making sure everything looked perfect. It matters what they see when they walk into that building. It
Mm,
sets the tone of the survey. If the
mm.
building is clean, if your people are professional, if you get your information to them quickly, that will set the whole tone. And we were on top of it from the time they walked into the building.
Wow. So Ignite Nation, that's why we chase perfection. We chase perfection because if we miss, we still catch excellence. And you all clearly caught excellence. Ignite Nation, let's be proud of the Webster team and let's be proud of what each and every one of you do. It's not normal to have someone come into your place of business and look under every nook and cranny trying to find something that you did wrong. But it has to happen. It's necessary. But
It is correct.
what we do is we compete. We show off.
We
We
showed
lit
up.
we
Yeah.
show up. We let the world know who we are. And that's what you all did. That's outstanding. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you went from a census of 17 to 60 within 2 months, and within 2 years, achieved a deficiency-free survey.
We went from 17 to 70 with a waiting list. And then in 2024, a zero deficiency survey.
Out,
Amazing, isn't it?
outstanding. That is what we just got through recognizing last week on Flame Day. The excellence that each and every one of you are demonstrating on a regular basis. We can't thank you enough. When we compete, we show up. And when we show up, we show off. So outstanding job.
I have the best team that I have had in my career in 33 years. And that's very hard to say because I have had some really wonderful teams. But this is the most competitive team ever. And that makes my heart feel so good. And they are such a family oriented that we just click so well together.
Jim White said a few weeks ago, culture is our personality. And it sounds like you have a true personality that's strong at the Webster building. Thank you for representing Ignite Nation so well.
Thank you.
And this is my favorite question. Give us a fun fact that Ignite Nation may not be aware of.
Well, I love to cook. I'm not a baker, but I'm a cooker. And so when I bring in food, and I do quite a bit for my department heads,
Mm,
they always go, "Where did you learn to cook? When do
mm,
you find the time?"
mm.
I love to cook. So that's one thing.
And I love to eat.
Not very exciting, but just absolutely different. I am not a TV watcher. I
Mhm.
don't watch any TV at all. So when we get to talk about shows and everything, I'm like, what? What?
Yes,
What are you
yes.
talking about? And I'm always out in the backyard doing stuff around my pool. That's what I like. And you can do that easily in Texas.
Awesome, awesome. So work-life balance sounds like it's important to you.
Absolutely.
And I bet you it's important to the folks at Ignite Medical Resorts Webster.
Absolutely, it is.
So basically what Jim said is accurate.
Absolutely. He's never been wrong.
You hear that, Jim? You've never been wrong.
Don't hold me to that.
All right. If you could give one piece of advice to a new leader stepping into a role here at Ignite Medical Resorts, what would it be?
I have two, actually. Stay ethical. Don't waver at any time. Be who you are, but always hire a team member that is smarter than you are in that area and learn to manage it. Because once you do, you'll have a team like I have that is the most competitive, smart team that you could ever ask for. It's a learning curve, but as you grow, they grow, and it's a beautiful sight to watch them evolve and grow and actually get promoted. That is probably the most exciting thing to ever see is when they grow and they get promoted.
I will second that. As the facilitator of the LIT program, I had the pleasure of seeing Kim Murphy be promoted recently. And Ignite Nation, Kim was part of the LIT program. She still is part of the LIT program. She wanted her career to grow and she wanted to advance her skill set. And I believe she's on your team.
She sure is.
So
She was. And she would actually stepped in, actually having no healthcare experience whatsoever, and has bloomed into a wonderful person and such a good leader, thanks to Ignite.
At the end of the day, you have chosen a profession that is requires a great deal. It takes a lot of emotional energy and effort, and we chase perfection because we hope, if nothing else, we catch excellence. With that, I want to always encourage you to keep growing your skill. Keep asking others, how do I do this? Where's an area I can grow? Help me learn how to. If you don't have a mentor, start looking around and asking a peer or someone that you admire, hey, will you help mentor me in this particular area? What we want you to know as we produce all of these Ignite the Flame podcasts is one, we want you to know that what you do matters. Two, that you're valued. And three, we want to share how leaders throughout the organization are showing up so that you can be encouraged to grow your career and continue delivering excellence at the highest level. And before we get out of here, I want to ask you, do you have any final comments for Ignite Nation?
I just say when you are lucky, like I have been, to join such a wonderful community with Ignite, you just don't ever leave. It's not better on the other side.
Mic drop. Thank you, Anne. I've really enjoyed this time with you today. I'll share my final comments. As you know, there's nothing more honorable than placing the needs of someone else before your very own. And that's something that each and every one of you do on a regular basis. It's our joy to provide the Ignite the Flame podcast. I hope you ask a friend to listen. And if you have any ideas or you'd like to be a guest on the pod, please reach out to me. All right, take care and have a great day. Thanks, Anne.
Thank you so much.